Girls, what was the most obvious hint you dropped, and the guy just didn't get it? We were playing life and he was a police officer. The rule is, if you spin a 10, he gets your speeding fines. I literally pulled open my button down and exposed my breasts and said, what can I do to get out of paying this? He said, Mom, I am an officer of the law. Are you trying to prostitute yourself to me? A couple days of flirting and sexual innuendo later, I literally had to spell out that I was trying to frick him. Yo, that dude is serious about his role playing. And yet somehow I've never been able to convince him to play D&D with me. I'm the guy in this situation, but I couldn't help not sharing this story. In college, this girl I was really into asked if I wanted to hang out at my dorm and drink and watch Netflix. She came over and we were watching and drinking on the couch in the living room, per my suggestion. Things are going good, and about an hour into it she says, ooh, lemme see your room, so we go to my room. She takes her shoes and socks off and immediately sprawls herself out on my bed and says, oh my god, your bed is so comfortable. I responded with, we live in the same building. It's the same bed as yours. She left about 10 minutes later. Oh my freaking god, lol, honestly, I think I reacted in a similar way. He told me my hair looked nice. I said, bet it would look nicer with your hands in it. He said, in a very confused tone, you want me to style your hair? This one is great. We were talking about canoes and I said I'm like a canoe because I'm wet and you can go inside me, and he said canoes aren't really wet-headed. Some PPL think he was rejecting me, but we ended up dating for 2 years. The thing is, if he did acknowledge the sign, how should he have responded? Cowabunga. When my boyfriend and I had just started dating, we were laying down watching a movie, but this was a small bed and he was being respectful and giving me space. I kept wiggling backwards so I could get closer to him, and he kept inching backwards too, since he thought I was just trying to get comfortable and he was in the way. He ended up sitting in a chair next to the bed. 3 years later we are still together, and I still think it's pretty funny. He told me that when he was in the chair he purposefully left his hand next to me in case I wanted to hold it, but I guess I missed that sign too. This one made me laugh out loud. Imagining him scooting all the way off the bed just to give you space is so sweet, lol. I threw my panties at him and he kept explaining God of War lore. Man of culture. A couple of weeks ago, to my boyfriend of 3 years, me, undresses and lays naked on the couch, waiting to bone. Him, makes dumb joke, ooh you're naked. That's so weird. Me, dies a little bit inside edit. Thanks for my first award, guys. Glad some people thought this was funny. He probably knew but just wasn't in the mood. Anyway, here comes a similar situation from me. Guy, my ex was more flirty than usual when she wanted my attention, putting her hands on my thighs, things like that. After more failed attempts than I care to admit, I just gave up on thinking those were signs she wanted something more. Some time later she complains, why am I always the one to come to you for sex? Show some initiative. After chatting for hours on top of a mountain from sunset until like 2 AM, sharing a blanket, me leaning my head on his shoulder, telling him he's attractive, etc. He turns to me and says, how do you tell if a girl is into you? He suspected that you were hinting and gave you a way to confirm or deny. Good move on his part. I want to agree with you. But my answer was something like, if they hang out with you later then word that, try and make a lot of physical contact, compliment you. And he said ah, cool. And then drove me home. We've talked about that N-word since, and he said he genuinely didn't think that I was into him. Not that N-word, but a few weeks later I was pretty blunt about my feelings and he was very surprised. We've been dating over a year now, and I think he's finally decided that I probably do like him. Reading these posts has gotten me even more confused. I am a guy in my 30s. Basically 70% of the top replies has happened to me a lot, except the super obvious ones where the girl is making a physical move, hugs kiss. But the couple of times I've actually made the move, nope, they just want to be friend. FML I guess. And this is why we ignore all those hints. I'm a guy but I once had an experience where I took the hint but still got rejected. A girl had asked me if I lost my virginity yet. We were in high school. When I said I hadn't, she said that I could practice on her whenever I want. Mind you, we walking home after school because we lived close. I try to act on this hint when we get to her house and she says she was only joking and doesn't want it to be weird with us as friends. Is it possible to get secondhand depressed? Every guy's worst fear right here. This is why we miss the obvious stuff. Not because we miss it, because we're too apprehensive. I was only joking. Before we started dating, I told my current boyfriend I love you and he said, "Oh, I love you too, you're such a good friend." The whole time we thought we were both friend zoning each other. Wasted half a year going in circles SMH. I guess it does get a little tricky being a guy, cause I would never want to make a girl feel uncomfortable, or that I'm forcing her into something. It kinda makes friendly gestures and hints sound real similar. It's best to be friendly. Guy here. Was invited back to study by one of the girls in my class at her apartment. We're about half HR in and she says she might take a shower. I'm like, okay, kinda random, but okay. Anyway, she starts telling me the door to the shower is broken so don't come in. Says it 3 or 4 more times. Again, I'm like, okay, weird she's said that multiple times, but okay. HR later, the shower is still running. I can hear her singing and humming away so I know she's okay and hasn't drowned. Thinking, gee, that's a long shower though. Water goes off and she comes out dressed and says, "You didn't come in?" I'm confused as I'm like, WTF, she told me not to. She sits back down, clearly distracted and not wanting to study. We wrap up after 5 minutes. Drive home. Mate asks me how study was about a week later and the situation, which I hadn't given a single brain cell of thought to since, I explained to him. As I'm saying it out loud, the penny drops as to what a big frickhead I am. She's the idiot, not you. She literally told you not to come in. It's entirely reasonable not to come in. You're not an idiot. She said not to come in. You could choose not to go in and she's annoyed, or go in and maybe sexy time happens, or she thinks you're a creep and then tells everyone how you tried to spy on her when she was naked and alone in the bathroom. Don't play that game. I'm sure what happened is how you said it did, and I doubt she would have accused you of sexual assault and got you put on a registry. I was being a bit dramatic, like Reddit is with most of these things. But the message is it's always safer to just hook up with someone who's more direct and honest about what they want. It's fine to drop hints or be coy, but when someone uses the words don't or no, I take that as gospel. Can you believe that creep of pervert came in after I told him 4 times not to? So answering in lieu of my late wife here, husband, I'm dumb. Like, really dumb. She and I met and became friends very quickly, but I didn't know she apparently had a huge crush on me. I thought she was out of my league, and apparently she thought I was out of her league too, but she couldn't stop the feels. She rubbed her feet on me while we were talking, asked me in detail about my package, gave me her phone number with the line, "Hit me up if you want pizza and sex." We went out for lunch. She offered to fill me for a Dr. Pepper, and she was very insistent that we got meat lovers pizza when I asked her what she wanted for watching a movie later. After we watched the movie, she was in my bed. I figured she was just wanting to keep warm and cuddle, but she strutted into my bathroom stark naked and I had some DDs staring at me. She kissed me and told me, "I want you to frick me, you idiot." A regular romance story there. In my defense, she had a really warped sense of humor and I thought she was kidding with all that stuff. It felt so natural with us being friends that the thought didn't even cross my mind until she propositioned me that there was potential for more. I'd had some really fricked up exes and I thought romance was something where I had to jump through hoops for the other person and wait on them hand on foot. But she was different. That's why she was the one who I got on one knee for. Advice to the ladies out there: if my wife telling me "I want you to frick me" got through my legendarily thick skull, I think as a last resort that'll get through to anybody. This was really sweet, and I hope you're doing okay. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm doing well enough. It has been 2 years since she passed and I've recently started seeing someone after a period of mourning. We already have some inside jokes about me being a nuclear trigger, so I'm fairly certain that this one will be a gem of me being a dumbus too. Thank you for the sentiments. We had a good, wild ride, but like all good things it came to an end. I asked a guy on a festival to come take a shower with me. He didn't get it. He just repeated there was only one free shower and I was like, "Well, they are big, I'm sure it's fine," and he just looked confused and told me I could go first. We became close friends since that happened about 2 years ago, and this summer I spoke to him about it and he really had no idea. He did the biggest facepalm I've ever seen. Honestly, I feel this one. I was at my sister's a few weeks ago, and her boyfriend was in taking a shower. I was about to get into the other shower, and my sister says, "I'll be in the shower if you need me." Me, isn't boyfriend in the shower right now? Her, yes. Me, so you're showering in a few minutes, not now. Her, no, me, but boyfriend is already in there. Her, yes. Me. Huh? Me. Oh. Freaking hell, for a second I thought your sister was trying to get you to go into the shower with her. Before my boyfriend asked me out, he kept hinting at the fact that we were both single and everyone there we would be cute together. I was like, haha, yeah, not realizing he was trying to ask me out. Wait, this happens in reverse. Not just guys missing hints? Definitely does. I'm a woman who doesn't get any type of flirting that isn't a pickup line that sounds like a pickup line. I do not get hints. My so has been the one to point out to me that at least 4 guys, who I met before my so, definitely attempted a move on me that I never got, when I told him about all the nice guys I met that made such good friends. I'm oblivious. To an embarrassing degree. I'm not as brutally upfront as some of these people, but mine happened yesterday. How do I know a girl is flirting with me? He asks. She touches you a lot while you two are talking. I cannot relate at all. That never happens to me. I'm sure it does. I tell him and hit his arm. I can't think of any time that's ever happened. See, this is a rough one, because I had this one girl I'd talk to all the time, and she'd sit next to me in class. I had a huge crush on her, and she'd be overly touchy all the time. She'd occasionally even rest her head on my shoulder, sleep on it during class when she was tired. Just stare into my eyes for prolonged periods of time, and hug me. For Valentine's a couple of years ago, I mailed my husband a package. The note said, and I quote, "I want you now." I was ready to spring into some extra fun sexy time whenever he opened the package. I had to sit him down and explain a couple of hours later. He was like, "Oh. Dot. Yeah. My wife's learned to just holler come to bed now. Otherwise I'm a dumbass that doesn't get it." On our first date, my current boyfriend and I went out to dinner, to a bar, and eventually back to his house to watch scary movies. After hanging out for almost 8 hours at that point, practically cuddling into him the entire time we were watching movies, dropping as many hints as I could, around 3 AM when we were both fighting to stay awake, I finally had to look his dumbass in the eye and ask, "So are you going to kiss me or not?" Though he was totally oblivious, it did show his good heart. He was about to let me fall asleep on his couch and spend the N-word without even trying to kiss me. I knew he was a keeper after that. Though he was totally oblivious, it did show his good heart. He was about to let me fall asleep on his couch and spend the N-word without even trying to kiss me. I knew he was a keeper after that. His evil plan worked flawlessly. Thanks for letting me borrow your Lambo last week, bro. Guy here but once had a girl drag me into the bathroom while at a college party saying she needed help finding her marker pen. We didn't find it and I figured out what was really going on a year later. It was in her butthole. Forgot this. Look at me, I'm a pharaoh and X200B. Fixed spelling. Thriller. Deleted. Holy shit, I'm mentally slow. I just realized I was him a week or two ago. I went on a second date with a girl to a hockey game and I don't feel comfortable doing touchy-feely stuff until I outright say I'm ready to commit seriously. So halfway through she says, "Man, it's pretty cold in here, isn't it?" And I said no. If anything, I'm a little warm. Things went normally for the rest of the game, but afterwards I got straight ghosted LMAO. I couldn't for the life of me figure out why, but that may or may not be it. It could be anything really, but I hadn't connected those dots yet, so I physically facepalmed when the light bulb went off. Edit. Thanks for the nice comments so far. It wasn't anything I was fully committed to yet, so I didn't get too bent out of shape. The bigger thing for me is that I can be socially inept at times and have not been on many dates with people I don't already know to start with, even though I'm in my mid-20s. Long chain of events lol. So I had moreover been trying to discern where anything could have been remotely connected to being ghosted so I could potentially improve my self-awareness in a type of situation I'm not often in. I had let it go, but this reminded me of it and I thought I'd share. Edit 2. Just so it's not some random assumptions here. Conversation was decent to great over text and I initiated every date, to which he sounded pretty bubbly towards each time. I'm not a forward person and have strong social anxiety in situations like this. Maybe I should just be upfront with that because they're going to know about it eventually, so I shouldn't hide it and have them guessing my motives. It just really didn't seem like there was any problems because even after the game she was going to Uber home originally but decided she wanted to ride with me on the subway after I mentioned I was taking it home. We talked the whole ride back and then said goodbye at the station. Then she responded once after that and never said anything else. Her husbands, bless their hearts. When I went on the first date with my husband, we both lived in the same apartment complex. He had been there a while, so he knew most everybody that lived there and I had just moved in. He was trying to guess which car was mine. And when he figured it out he told me, "You can tell a lot about somebody by their car." Expecting some cheesy line from him I said, "Oh yeah? What can you tell?" and he immediately started into a technical spiel about tread wear and tire alignment. I guess he was just trying to impress me with his knowledge because he worked at an auto body shop. It didn't even occur to him that it sounded like he was trying to flirt. I definitely still tease him about that. When I was about 35, I lived in a beach town near a university. My neighbors were all college kids. Next door was 2 college girls. One was always flirting with me. One hot summer day, she turned up at my door in nothing but a long t-shirt. She asked if she could hang out in the account. I said sure, and she came over to the sofa I was sitting long ways on and laid with her back to my chest and asked if we could snuggle. I was okay with that. She then asked me to rub her belly, which I did. As you can imagine, after about an hour, I was getting a little worked up and touched her breast. While rubbing her belly, she jumped up and stormed out. I was like, WTF. She later said she didn't see me like that. I asked her why she'd show up almost naked, lay between my legs like couples do, and ask me to rub her belly and then get pissed when I try to progress things. She said she looks at me like a big brother. I was like, WTF is your family like? And that is why so many guys in this thread didn't get the hints. What are you doing, big bro? Yep. I know some girls that if they brushed against your hand, that's clearly a sign they're flirting with you. At the same time, I know a girl who could be holding your hand and it means absolutely nothing. Currently trying to figure out that latter girl actually. Yup. I had a girl invite me round her house once just to show me her posters. They were all of Harley Davidson motorbikes, and she said she's never ridden a Harley before. Awkward silence, and after a few other sort bits of small talk I decided to be on my way. 2 years later I'm sitting on the bus and realize what she meant. Harley. Ridden a Harley. My name is Holly. Damn, I feel so bad for her. That's a perfect line too. Do you think she bought all of those posters just to be smooth? Because that's commitment. Also, who owns Harley poster without owning a Harley, right? That one is my favorite today. One time a girl straight up asked if I wanted to take my pants off and I didn't get it. Usually when girls ask you to take off your pants, it's for their comfort. No one wants to come in contact with the kind of tough fabric a lot of pants are made of when they're sleeping. Also, always take off your belt. That's just cruel to accidentally poke someone with your belt buckle. I too always remove my belt after taking my pants off. Literally said I want to be yours and the dude just keeps smiling and goes on about random space facts. That one hurt a bit. What was the coolest space fact? I am a guy, but I can share my identity as the guy that missed the hints. I went to a store where there was a girl I liked in college. We used to small talk while I browsed and never bought anything. Bring a poor college student. This time I came in the store and she said and we chatted a bit while I shopped. She complained, I'm going to be home alone word. My family is out of town. I replied, oh that's too bad. She says, I'm off at 5 today. It was 4 at the time. What are you up word? I'm up for anything. Oh nothing, just sitting at home and watching a movie. My brain must have completely self-destructed, because the conversation ended there. I never saw her again after that. She either quit, or was avoiding me. I must have been in a daze from school to miss that cue. School does that to me too. Plus the fact that I'm shy and therefore believe I never get attention adds to the oblivious bliss. We were discussing costumes and I sent a picture of me in my bunny suit and said I'd need help out of it. His response was telling me he hoped my roommate was home or that would suck. I had to tell him I was implying I'd like him to take it off me, and it took him a minute to catch up. Edit. For those of you concerned, it was very much a suggestive picture. I'm not sure it could have been perceived as just friendly, and no, you won't be getting proof of said picture for those in my DMs, lol. Jessica, that makes no sense. How can I help you when I'm clear across town? Bless you for hitting him with a bat. Edit. Thanks Anon for my first award. And I'm very happy to see OC got silver as well. And thanks again. I just turn around and guild OC. Invited him over to watch a movie, eventually laying my legs across his lap and hard flirting, but after 4 movies I had to finally make the move. Edit. For clarification, we'd been flirting via text, sexting, exchanging nudes, etc. I had previously told him to his face that I liked him, and I'm giving him the green light to make any move. Still nothing after a month of dating. I seem to always take the lead on things and I like assertiveness, but I wanted to give him the opportunity to feel like he could be in control, that it was okay. I was very direct many times. We'd had several discussions about it. 4 movies in 1 N-word? Or like 4 evenings spread over a few weeks? I once was modeling clothes I planned to take on vacation for my boyfriend. After showing off a couple of outfits, I told him to close his eyes and changed into lingerie. He opened his eyes and I asked him what he thought. His jaw dropped and he said, "You can't wear that outside." I put my clothes back on. How could you not jump his bones after such comedic genius? OMG, that gave me a good laugh. My ex did something similar. I bought new lingerie, waited on the bed for him to come home from work. He comes in, looks a little shocked, says that's nice and adjusts the straps. Lay down and started staring at his phone. He said later, after our breakup, that he just didn't know what to do and freaked out inwardly cause it was something he'd always wanted. LMAO. I never wore lingerie for him again after that incident. It killed my confidence. Edit. Lol, I did not expect this many upvotes. He uses Reddit, so I hope he doesn't browse this thread. LMAO. Edit number 2. I'd like to make it clear that I'm not salty about it and don't hold it against him. It's a funny little anecdote and stemmed from us both being embarrassed by the situation. He's a pretty good dude. I didn't push or throw a tantrum. I was inwardly a little upset but didn't outwardly react badly, because that's not fair on the other person. I just got changed and snuggled instead. Not a girl, but I was staying at N-word at a hotel, and the hotel bar had just closed. I went out front for a smoke and start chatting with 2 women. We shoot the sheet for a few minutes and then all head back into the hotel and to the elevator. We get in, they press 15, I press 9, and one of them turns to me and says, "I don't suppose there's a secret bar on the 9th floor we can go to?" My dumbass responds, "No, but you can grab a cab and be at a bar in 10 minutes. Then the doors open and I leave. Edit. This is my most upvoted comment. Cool. This is amazing. How long did it take you to realize? Brushing teeth 15 years later. Wait a minute. They probably just wanted to raid his minibar and dip out. Staring in the mirror, not even coherent enough to know if you still have underwear on or not, and it hits you 30 seconds into brushing. Son of a beach. His dumbness saved him money, so it loops right around into being smart. He invited me to his house to watch a movie after a few dates. He ended up playing League of Legends for hours while I was laying in his bed and asked him many times if he would like to join. Sorry, just one more match. We dated for 2 years. LMAO, League will do that to a guy. We matched on Bumble, dating app that the girl has to talk first, and I started a convo with him. He thought I just matched him because we were friends. No, it's a dating app. We didn't start dating until almost a year after that. We are married now. He thought I just matched him because we were friends. No, it's a dating app. You'd be surprised at the number of women who have profiles on Tinder and the like for finding friends only. If you're looking for a girlfriend or sex, go away. Also, I've matched with friends before and she'd always be like, lol, I didn't realize that you were on Tinder. This is where girls are complicated comes in. To you that was obvious. But in college, I matched with somebody I was on friendly terms with. We weren't that close, and after laughing about it I asked her out. She became super weirded out because she thought we just matched because we were friends. Like you said, no. It's a dating app. Had some pretty bad fallout over that. Men can be oblivious sometimes because what seems to be obvious to you is just another entry in a murky bag of mixed experiences. And that's why we miss the obvious signs. As a guy, to any girls reading this, you have no idea how easy it is to miss hints. Please be more obvious. We are also really bad at being scared of taking signals wrong. Edit. Post-award edits are so last year, so suffice it to say waking up to 37 new messages gave me a small what have I posted heart attack this morning. You are all very kind. I'd hazard to guess most clueless men are actually trying to not be a meat stick, because they don't want to lose a friend, be seen as a creep, or end up in prison. That is totally true. It's snowing. Just stay here. You can sleep in my bed. I had a similar thing, out camping and my accommodation was a fair walk away. Girl was like, it's fine, you can just stay in my tent. Me, oh, great, do you have a spare sleeping bag then? She literally been cuddled up between my legs at the campfire all evening and I still didn't get it. To be honest, I would just think to myself she is really nice offering me that, I better not screw this up by trying to sleep with her. And then proceed to say it doesn't seem so bad, but thank you. My dumbass would just say, but where would you sleep? It's okay, I have good tires, I'll go home. Thankfully my girlfriend now just laughs at my stupid, thinking it's a joke until my brain catches up. His IQ dropped with the temperature. I went out of my way to come in early and talk to this guy every day for like a month before someone else told him I was into him. I also repeatedly told him I liked him. He thought I was just being nice. When a girl admits to liking you, a guy faces a dilemma. 1, you could be joking and pulling his leg. 2, you just sympathize for him, or you like him as a friend and that's it. A guy I'm currently seeing invited me camping earlier this month. We were cuddling and I noted how nice the showers are in the bathroom at the provincial park. I said they're really warm and lots of space for 2 people. Trying to hint for him to join me for sexy time. This man without missing a beat says actually, you could fit like 10 people in those showers. I like that guy. I'm just here for the shower gangbang. A girl came to my house once and spent the N-word. Around the time for bed, she told me she doesn't sleep with a top on or panties. I told her that's okay, I'll sleep on the couch so she can be comfy. She called me from downstairs later that N-word and told me she couldn't sleep and she was cold. I figured, well, obviously you're naked. So I gave her another blanket and went back downstairs. Edit. Obligatory thank you for the silver and I'm glad everyone is laughing at my pain. I've tried responding the best I can, but some of you guys are getting weirdly mean and it kills the mood. Damn. I used to be oblivious, probably still am. There was a girl at a local grocery store who was flirting with me, but of course, I didn't get it. After quite a bit of this, I leave town for a few months and we're corresponding via email. I can't remember why, but I was asking her a string of silly questions, like, why is the sky blue? Chicken or the egg first? Where do babies come from? Comma, etc. She answered them all, saving where do babies come from for last, and answered it with, when you get back I'm going to show you I got that one. So, where do babies come from? Did she show you? Asking for a friend here. Lol. Oh, she showed me. Many times. It was a good run. I had a girl go out with me after work once for dinner, have some drinks, go back to my house, get too drunk to drive home, so I put her to bed in the spare room and never even attempted to kiss her. She left in the morning early and hated me after that. It was after work, so she followed me back to my house in her own car. That was the obvious hint I missed, is what I assume now. She was mad you didn't try to sleep with her when she was drunk. Sounds like you exercised common sense. Did she leave the door open? Lol. TBH, that sounds shitty on her part for being mad at you. She was drunk. I think so as well. But maybe a good word hug kiss is all she really needed. We were holding hands a lot but never kissed, so maybe that could have been one thing I could do. My buddy in college was stressing over when to make the move to kiss a girl he liked. While we encouraged him to not wait for the perfect moment and just go for it, he admitted he should have tried to kiss her when they were in the shower. If this is the truth, I think I need a brick for my own head. We're in the shower, naked together, but nothing happened, so we're still friends. Like no homo for straight people. In the shower? This is the best one, hands down. Friends, now man. Just go for it. Dumbos, but I think I missed my chance when I was balls deep in her last week. My fiancée thinks leaving my bedroom door open when she spent the N-word when we were just friends, and she lived out of town, and there was absolutely no reason for me to think anything romantic was going on, was obvious. I got up and closed the door because the AC was on and was low-key miffed. Edit. We were friends for a long time before we got together, and she had a meeting early in the morning, so I gave her my bed and slept on the couch. She left the door open thinking I would take the hint. Do you know how creepy it would be if you tried to hop into bed without her asking if she wasn't into you? I'm a woman and have never done this, nor would I get the hint if someone did this to me. All these open cracked door scenarios are crazy. Ugh. I was having an argument with an ex, who at the time, unbeknownst to both of us, was having huge mood swings due to a rare birth control side effect landing full force on her, giving her a massive chemical imbalance. Anyway. Turns out that the door sitting open 2 inches was supposed to mean, I'm not as angry anymore, we should talk before you leave the house for work. And, when that didn't obviously occur to me, she got mad all over again. She's since apologized for that behavior years later now that we both know better, and we're close friends to this day, but wow, those few months were mental torture. Everything I did was wrong. Thanks for watching. I publish new videos every day. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe.